So guys, welcome, good morning. And today I want to show a little bit something like this. So we want to be working with my new CROQUIS and my watercolors. So here he is. Let's have a little look. That's the guy. So we have two different ways of working with the CROQUIS. One is to trace and one is to kind of block off areas and keep other areas. Today I want to be blocking off. So let's create two new layers. This one we could rename it block. And layer 4 can be the lines. And we can already do one more, which will be for the color. Oh. Color. There you go. So, let's start with our block layer. And put this one on a lower opacity. Now I want to go for white and then regular round brush for painting. And as you can see now, this one blocks. But since the opacity is kind of just 80%, we can still see a bit of the lines. Later we can also bring the opacity up and then block them entirely. I want to leave the neck and the hands free. And since it's going to be an outfit with long pants, let's get rid of the pants, the legs too. So kind of like this, have a look. There's a little bit more here. Escaped me. This one's just dirt on your iPhone, iPad. So let's play with the opacity a bit. We want to see a little bit more. So now we go to the lines, and then I'm picking black, sketching, and I want to go for my fave, which is the HB pencil. So now let's sketch. So what should we do today? I feel like a sweater. It's getting a little bit colder, so let's give him like a cute sweatshirt. Start with the neckline. So as you guys see, my lines are never really smooth. I kind of create them in several steps until I like it. For me, it's not necessary to kind of create perfect lines immediately. I can clean it up. I work my way through. So I have my neckline here. Then what kind of shoulders do we want? Maybe a bit of a dropped shoulder, so it would be more like around here. Then we would definitely get some kind of drapiness around there where it pleats over. We want to stay a little bit away from the body. Let's see, let's make it like cuffs. So this line might go even more there. So my first kind of drafts are a little bit rough, and I try to just get kind of the shape so I can evaluate it and have a look if I like it. So yeah, let's go for like a kind of cozy jogging outfit. So quite all right with this one. Let's do a cuff here too. So the cuff would be closer to the body, and then we can bring like that. And now let's give him some pants. So I want to wiggle it around on the knee. I'm still into a bit of a crop here. So I'm actually not going for a really big pants, just like a regular fit, a bit more slim. wiggle around the knee. This is where kind of like drapes and stuff happens. As you can see, I'm making the cuffs down here a little bit kind of like with an angle. So there we go. It's this kind of pajama, jogging. No, what does Siri want? We don't know. She's listening in all the time. So let's have a look. Let's get a little bit more detailed here. So we want to do some cuffs. And then things puff from the cuff. So we might make them puff. Here too. A few lines for the puffy effect. And now I want to start kind of working out my lines. I'm using the pencil in a rather thin setting, so now I can create these heavier, more severe lines. I can use the eraser in a kind of smallish brush size to clear everything. We don't want these lines to be super straight. We want them to be a little bit natural, little bumps. If we come to places like these seams, we can either kind of have them coming out, or they could also pop a little bit in. Something always happens around seams. Okay, this one goes a little bit more here. Oi. Let's have a look here at the side. I really like to spend some time on getting interesting lines. I believe my personal style is very sketchy. And I like it like this. So let's clean up a little bit in here. And work these out as well. Yeah. There's a bit of a mess in here. So obviously want to leave a little bit of fun for the watercolor brushes. This one could be a bit more loose. The other side feels, yeah. So, quite into it. You can do the classic kind of like swoosh thing here if you like, maybe a bit thinner. Then we could put a bit of the rib texture here first. I do like the collarbones here. They give us some good kind of surface. We could bring a bit the chest. So we have rib cuff here as well. So if you want your lines to be a lot cleaner, you can obviously also use a monoliner brush or something like this with a stronger correction. The HB pencil corrects a little bit, but not too much. It has a very strong kind of texture, but I like it. I do not like my digital art to look too like cyber and virtual. I do want it to look natural. and relatable in some way. Maybe a bit more here. I feel everything else is now much more ripped. Filling it a bit. So great, now let's work a bit here. So we want to also like some kind of center front. And just make these lines more beautiful. I would say my personal style has been very inspired by reading tons of like comics when I was a kid, and it wasn't at that time manga or anime. It was mainly Belgian, French cartoons. I don't know if you guys ever read these. Like my favorite is probably Spirou and Fantasio. It's like with the marsupilami, like this interesting, fantastic animal from the jungle. It's so good. And they're all like kind of from the 50s and 60s. The style is very beautiful. Almost looks like Hermes scarves. So I haven't done anything about the feet here. So let's pop on a quick shoe or something. I know the feet are a little bit funny. They're almost like kind of claws. Oh, shut up, Siri. They're a little bit like these duck hunting shoes. If I do it like this. I like them though. So, shoelaces here. We can make the eyelets too. If we want to go for a bit of a kind of trekking aesthetic here. Mountaineering. Always nice for fall. Bit of a soul. This boy's got the soul. I'm cool with that. So, my lines are pretty much here and he looks great. So, let's have a look at the watercolors. And also, I mean, we can work with this transparency if you guys into it, but we don't have to. Like this now, clean canvas. You can also see a little bit more, so maybe let's give him, as if there was like a pocket here. Let's add some interesting stitches. So maybe the side seam is a little bit showy here. It's appearing with a bit of a top stitch maybe added. Then here we could have a pretty stitch. Let's say that was all flat locked. So I actually am working on brushes for stitches, but so far so good. I'm still into doing them by hand. Still haven't really achieved that randomness that I like from my hand stitches. And you can see I flip. So you want to always flip your sketch. So you don't have to flip your hand. You don't have to, get uncomfortable. The iPad is perfect for this because, we can just twist it and flip it and turn it. And you never have to use, move the iPad. Here, a couple of stitches just for the look and feel. You could bring a little line here. Always looks kind of fancy. So let's switch the layer and go to layer 5 color. You can directly go on the N for normal and put it on multiply. Multiply means that this layer will be kind of mixed into the layers. And now we want to check out my TK watercolors. So we have number 1, smooth, the big blob one. Number 2, the wet one. Number 3, pressure sensitive. Number 4 is the watercolor brush. And number 5, watercolor pen. The last one in the gang is the smudger here, which is a bit of a brush, but mainly a smudger. turn on some AC. So what I really like most actually is the smooth one. So this one is great for filling. And color, what should we do? Let's keep it blue. I'm almost into blue. So let's go for this kind of medium here. And let's do his sweater first. So check size, something like not too big. Let's give it a go. Yes, great. And now you can see it really goes on so smoothly. Oh my God, it feels like heaven, seriously. Can go one by one. So now I just want to kind of fill the surface. You can change the size a bit if you want to go faster. So the feeling of this, I feel it's gorgeous. Overdraw might be like, we can always kind of erase a bit from the sides. Watercolor is also about this effect of imperfection. So don't worry too much. Now we can take the eraser and just kind of clean it up here and there if you want. You can also do it after. So let's add a little bit of kind of darkness, and let's keep the same brush first and see what she can do. If there's something here, this one is kind of great for, yeah, smooth but sharp. If it's too sharp, don't worry, we can smudge it. So now just kind of like a bit more here. Maybe let's try another one too. For example, number 2, the wet one. So this one gives a lot more texture and it's much smoother. See, so I can go over it and I can kind of blend this one a little bit more in. Here, focus on like the upper body. And now try another one, for example. Brush number 4, different size. So they all work with each other very well, kind of giving different textures, different feels. Try the smudger now. So the smudger is where we can usually bring it all together even more. And you can go really big if you want. Hold and wiggle. And you get this kind of like big surface effect. And it creates some kind of pattern. If you just go kind of like small, it's also a bit pressure sensitive, so you can also see, work it, smooth it over. How does it look? Quite like it. There's a lot of like lightness here, so let's just kind of work that over. Now you're like, oh my God, you've destroyed all of your watercolors. I was like, no, not really, it's still kind of there. If we want more effect, let's try number 4, for example. She's kind of very textured. And let's bring some highlights back in. So we can just go with the white one. And let's say the light is coming kind of like from here. See how big we are, it's too small. A bit more. And now let's just kind of, do you see? Work a little bit of kind of like a texture back on. And this one has a very strong paper texture. Maybe do the cuffs a little bit lighter again. I think I like that. I like to give kind of a little bit of these reflections. And if they're too much, smudge them a bit, blend them. So the smudger also gives a little bit of color. I don't know if you guys see that. There's a little bit of white coming out of it. Whatever color you put. Like if we wanted to go, for example, now add a bit of a darker tone, we can do that with the smudger. Anyway, so wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until we have something interesting there. Let's do the pants. Let's go for, what should we do? What works nice with blue? Maybe like a kind of, like a sort of beige. Let's keep it just easy. A bit like a chino. I want to go for smooth again first. This one is the least kind of busy. So it's really great just for the first fill. Sometimes that's actually enough. There's already a very pretty watercolor texture. And I want to say that, so I do everything by hand, right guys? So the CROQUIS hand sketched and the watercolors are handmade too. I actually painted it first. So I want to show the pen now. The pen gives a really crisp line that is one side crisp, one side fluffy. So it's great for kind of some details here. So all of my watercolor brushes have been handmade. I've actually done the watercolor on regular paper first, and then I've digitized the different textures. And this is what came out, and I really like it. It's exactly what I wanted. Giving some nice shade here. And now let's do the other way around. Let's also add some highlights. We can use the same brush. Especially for fashion design, we want to sometimes make it look more like a kind of marker moment, a bit more watercolory. We always need a bit of crispness. Maybe go for these like cat, whatever that's called, whiskers. Hop, hop. So the pen here is also pressure sensitive. Let's get in with another, a bit darker one. And smudge it. Sometimes it might also be too much. I would like do less. I feel this one overdoing it a bit. Ah! What happened? There we go. It's a little bit like makeup. You want to blend things well. And not have all these harsh contrasts. So we kind of start out like a like contouring job or something. How does it look? All right. So naturally we would have a little bit darker here under the sweatshirt. See the crotch area too. I like to zoom out so I get a better overview. Does it look kind of like how you would expect it to look on a person or something? But I like to keep in mind. So that's that. Clothes are here. The colors are crazy bright on my phone here, but zoom in, let's see. So you can see there's like all this lovely texture going on. A bit over painting on some areas, but that's okay. We could add like some cute logo or something, some more texture, but let's do the skin now. I really enjoy doing the face. So let's take like a kind of skinny skin tone, a bit of an orangey reddish pink, and What should we try? They're all great for the face. Let's try wet. Wet gives a lot of texture. And looks quite natural. So I want to try now to give a little bit of these shadows first. Around the face, the upper lip, under the lower lip, under the nose. The eyes here, let's give it some shadow. So his eyes are kind of, they have like a monolid, but you can kind of create an eyelid if you really want. I like monolids. Let's give him a nose bridge. It's always good to shade here under the hairline because they would naturally throw a shadow. Throw some shade. Let's go a little bit bigger now and fill some surface. So they build up, right? So we can like go over each other. Smaller, forgot the ears. Now we have more skin, we have some hands. We all like to forget hands at all times, I know. A little bit of a shadow here at the cuffs. Now I'm at it here, I can see, like, let's go for the regular smudger. Ooh, too big. And push these things a little bit back. Oh, jeez. Push these things where they belong. Here we can erase a little bit. You guys will see I always go kind of like around and around. I work on different areas. Try to kind of have a look at everything at the same time and then kind of focusing on details. So we're going back and forth. The shoes. So they're not skin tone. I don't know what color to give. Let's do blue. Go more for the royal type blue. Bit darker, and just the pen. This one's, ooh, too big. Smaller. So we get some nice texture. You can see how it kind of works. This is also like a really big brush. That's the reason why I had to make like a separate zip. It has so much going on at the same time. You can see it creates a lot of interesting texture. So what else? Just keep it blue. Blue. I mean, do we like stripes? We could just give him a stripe here. Like, yep, a bit of a nautic look and feel. I'm quite into it. Let's do it afterwards. So, let's do the face first. I really like to use the smudger to do a bit of a blush. So we can go for like this strong red, or I'm going maybe now for like a peach. And then the fun fact, so see the smudger puts a little bit of color. And then we can move that around. And create really, really gorgeous and soft shading on the face. It's winter, so a bit by the nose, maybe by the eyes, we're all getting a bit, I mean, it's not winter, but summer is over, so now we're all going to get a cold or COVID, whatever. Of course, the lips can be a little bit kind of like pinked up. See, you can also kind of stamp it on if you want for this kind of juicy effect. Now, maybe they're a little bit too dark for a mister, so lighten it back up. We can go a little bit stronger too. So let's change. Let's get the pen. It's great for this. Stronger shadows, a bit more like detail, more chisel. Cheekbone. The nose. So you want to add the shadows step by step. So let's see what we can do with his eyes. So we could give him a bit of a Korean style, but his eyes are already quite wide. So actually I want to shade them here. So I have this kind of light brown tone. Let's see what that does for the hair, but let's change the brush to smooth, too big, for a bit of a crisper look. This is kind of like liver medium brown, which is quite nice. Put some color first, see how it goes. It's cute, let's do it. So I guess I have to wrap it up soon. I can always get like totally lost in this. It's so nice and so much fun. I love sketching. Sketching is just relaxing, especially if the world is crazy. Sketching is there. And the world is crazy right now, oh my God. What's left? Nothing's left. So now we have a really cute outfit here. Blue sweater, beige pants, not crazy. We can do some details. Let's do the stripes. I really want to do the stripes though. Let's pick another blue, maybe a darker one. And let's check. So this brush is already pretty good for it. Let's have a look. So I want to find a good size. This is too small. This. So let's try to make this pattern work. That's not how it should be. It should probably be something like this. We always have to keep in mind how things kind of like move with these like dropped shoulders and stuff. And that's pretty much it. And there's no shame in correcting it and making it better. So another one around here. And now we should also start to kind of move them. This one is not a good distance. We don't want to keep them super straight. We want to pretend as if they are wrapping around a body, of course. This one's weird. And then we can do one more here. I want to keep the cuffs white. I like it. It has this Nautic style. Now, the sleeves, we also gonna give them stripes, and these are much easier. Like this. Probably like this. So I'm slightly altering the direction of the stripes here. guess just one more. So yeah, that's it. A cute kind of like end of summer fall style sweater style with my pretty croquis. We could now, let's get rid of all of this. So we could now also do the back. Here's the back. So that's also really fun. Every front needs a back. So this is the front. This is the back. You can obviously also put them next to each other if you want, but okay. So this was today's job. If you guys like, subscribe to my channel. If you want to buy the croquis and my watercolor brushes, check out my Etsy shop. I'm really happy about every sale. It's not, yeah, it's just really great. Please support. If you like my videos, subscribe. Bye bye guys.